Whoops, sorry. Alright, hey guys, lead meteorologist John Choquette here. We're jumping in just mainly because some storms are firing up in the Dallas area, and very quickly we got kind of inundated with some phone calls and questions and everything about what's going on. I know, they're saying, oh, you didn't say there was going to be any hail today in the Dallas area. Well, we're going to jump, oh crap, hang on. We're going to jump right into basically talking about how the cold front's moving through right now, and with that, that means that we have storms firing real quick. Like this is a very quick transition here from absolutely nothing. You can see I roll back and you see right up in here, this is the cold front that's pushing through very fast through the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And along with that, if I push forward a little bit here, you can see how storms just exploded real quick. And most of this so far is hail-free. It is just a pretty intense little squall line that's kind of forming, again, really fast. The thing I'm watching right now is right here. I'm going to zoom in right by the Farmers Branch area. This looks like if there's anywhere where hail's fallen, it's probably in here. We'll see how big this gets. Right now, it's probably sub-severe hail. And the hard part with this is, with it being along the cold front, it's hard for updrafts to kind of get themselves established enough to drop really big hail. They kind of go up, and the cold front's pushing south so fast that's undercutting the storm. So it's like taking the feet out from under somebody running. They're trying to run, and then they trip a little bit, and they try to keep going. That's kind of what's going on with these storms. So a matter of how big this hail gets, I'm thinking if anyone gets hail, it'll be quarter, $half size. And I know for a lot of you guys here in the Oklahoma area, in the Dallas area, you're hoping for a big storm. At the very least, if we can get a couple of these storms to kind of squeak out some halfway decent hail, maybe we can get a date, just since it is taking a while for this season to really start ramping up here in the Dallas area. I know you guys are desperately looking for some big storms, but again, this is an area right here where there's been a lot of activity in the past couple of years, a lot of roofs that probably might have gotten neglected if they weren't damaged super bad. All it takes is a little bit of quarter-size hail, you get a new date, and hopefully you can get some new stuff in here. But right now, so right now what we're showing right here, this is probably the best looking area along the line of storms. Now the thing is with this, it's moving quick, storms developing really fast. Wouldn't be surprised if we see anything kind of bubble up. Wouldn't be surprised if they throw a warning up on here in the next few minutes. I'd pop on the other stuff on here. Oh, and there it goes. And just with that, it looked decent, and now it's still hail. It's definitely hailing like right along 635 down by Forest Lane. Hang on, guys. I got to pull up Dallas County so I can actually see which one it is. This storm will produce leads. Yes, exactly. He just described a roofer in a neighborhood. Yeah, so again, these things they're going to go up fast and probably die out just as quick. So it's going to be kind of hard to see where they're going and what places to expect, because just as fast as they can go up, they can die as well. And just give me a second. God, what was the county number again? 113. Let me just get some roads on here so I can see what I'm doing. Give it a second. There we go. All right, Dallas County's got some roads. We got some roads. Girlfriend is looking for 2 inches or more. All right, so this is the one I'm probably going to stay focused on. You see here in the CCs, it's a little bit lower here, which means this is the only area where I think if there's any hail, it's going to be in this. This had its own little inflow for the briefest of minutes, and now it has probably a little bit of hail in here. I don't know if they're going to even severe warn it, but that's what we're looking at right now. So again, we're just watching. We're kind of waiting, watching, see what happens in the Dallas area. The Storm Prediction Center even pushed their risk back up to kind of barely include Dallas a little bit, mainly because of the storms firing off of the cold front as it races to the south and east. And we have other storms here. This is just kind of a recap of what's going on. We have just a bunch of thunder showers here over by the east of Temple and over into areas like the Palestine area or by Tyler. This is all sub-severe, no severe hail in this, or even just severe weather in general. It's more heavy rains, thunder, lightning, some gusty winds. And then we go further north along the cold front. You can see the cold front starting to kind of fire. Like the firing of all these storms is the cold front as it's pushing its way to the south and to the east. This won't be that big of a hail producer. There's one hail producer along it for sure right now, heading in the general direction of Russellville, Arkansas. But the bigger story is all here in the warm sector here. All this area that's highlighted right now in the brown color on your screen. This is where it looks like storms are going to fire ahead of the line. The storms that fire ahead of the line will be supercells, and those can produce some pretty big hail. So I said Memphis had like a 2% chance earlier. I'm bumping that up probably to like a 10-15% chance now. And again, I still keep it a little bit lower until supercells actually fire. If supercells actually fire, then my percentage chances are going to jump up a ton for places like Little Rock and Memphis and Paducah and even towards Evansville. Evansville, you had a storm move through earlier. That was just elevated stuff, just morning convection. There was one storm that hit this town over here. I can tell you what is the pronunciation. Vincent. There's a college here. They had up to golf ball size hail, and that was the only thing that really produced any hail in that. And there was some quarter size hail outside Indianapolis earlier, and that's all we're looking at right now. And then as we push forward, I think storms are going to fire again a little bit later. Probably, what time is it right now? It's about 2 o'clock, so maybe the next hour or two, storms can fire up all in this region here. Again, I think the Storm Prediction Center highlighted this pretty well. I haven't had a chance to update our personal graphics, so I'm kind of riding on this one a little bit here, just showing this looks like the best area for big hail later on this afternoon. I know a lot of you guys are watching for Dallas right now, but if you're in work areas like in Memphis, like western Tennessee, western Kentucky, southern Illinois, parts of most of Indiana, your best storms are going to be happening a little bit later on. I'm going to check back in on the Dallas area, see if anything exciting is happening, or are we just going to walk through this with a squall line that'll get a bunch of people excited and not really produce much. I think that was kind of what I was tepidly looking at here with this. I just wanted to go on here in this way so you guys can just kind of see and your questions get answered just here on the air. Okay, bring it on. What's going on up north? Okay, I think I answered it here. Grand College Station. They made a dumb. Irving. Let's see, Irving, Texas. We are. God, where the hell is that? Life called with hail and Plano. That makes sense. So again, I think all along here, the north edge of this, there's not really north edge. North edge is way up in Missouri somewhere. All this stuff here, like Plano, Richardson, University Park, north sides of Dallas. I think you're getting hail there. The question is, again, how big it is. I think right now we're seeing hail that maybe flirting with quarter size. I think for the most part we're below severe limits right now. A lot of nickel size hail, penny size hail, dimes, all the other coins in our currency that don't have, that aren't at least 1 inch in diameter. Probably a nice little core right here by Hillcrest Road and Forest Lane. So again, anywhere here you see here in the brighter colored, yeah, there you go, the greens and the blues and the yellows with the CCs. I think that's where you're seeing some hail. If I look at the other factors on this, yeah, it looks like there's a lot of melting going on too. So probably not the biggest event by any means. This is not going to be some surprise mega hailstorm or anything. I think we're probably going to get, I wouldn't be surprised we get somebody reports some quarter size hail out of something in here in the next 20 minutes or so. And that, I think, is likely going to be it for Dallas. I think the big focus, the big story for today is going to be areas to your east, areas to your north, places in the Great Lakes region and the Tennessee Valley, Mississippi River Valley. All those areas I think are going to see much better storms later on this afternoon. And then I think the hail risk is going to be limited to about a 2-3 hour window. Probably by about 9 o'clock tonight, that hail risk is going to start to die off quick as this squall line that is forming and moving through the Dallas area right now catches up with a lot of the storms that form out ahead of the squall line, and that will really kind of kill our hail threat pretty fast. So pea size in Carrollton, nothing big. Yeah, nothing big in any of these areas with this. You're killing me, dude. Hail in Cincinnati. Cincinnati, yeah, you might be seeing some. Yeah, let me pop back onto this. For Cincinnati, we're gonna have to kind of watch and see what any of this stuff here does. If any of this can go and strengthen itself more as the afternoon wears on. There's been a lot of clearing today in the Cincinnati area. Like the whole warm sector, other than obviously where these showers are, hasn't had a lot of cloudiness, had a lot of heating, a lot of moisture in the air. So that's why, you know, we're kind of looking to see, okay, maybe there might be some big hail, some storms that form ahead of the line. And that is what changed our forecast from yesterday, where it's like, there might be some hail, to, okay, there might actually be quite a bit of hail, or Mother Nature, you know, tricks us, fools us again, and decides, nah, it's going to be a squall line, never mind. So we'll have to just, again, that's why like I'm upping the chances for like Memphis from my 2% to like 10 to 15%, but I'm still not going above that threshold until I see that storms are actually forming ahead of the line. Because if storms don't form ahead of the line, these big time hail chances, like this severe thunderstorm watch here has up to 3-inch hail possible. Like the Storm Prediction Center is going in real hard with this, and I'm still kind of trepidatiously waiting and seeing, you know, systems like this can burn you pretty easy if you go and you have a squall line coming through and you're like, oh, but other storms are going to form ahead of it, and then if nothing forms ahead of it, then you have a squall line with a couple quarter reports and people are like, oh, what happened? You didn't have anything happen. So we're keeping it right now. Again, I think anywhere here in this brown area, you could see upwards towards tennis ball size hail if, the big if, storms fire ahead of the line. And right now, I'm kind of leaning into it a little bit, but I'm being cautious until anything does in fact form. Okay. Okay. Let it hail as long as it's big and in a big city. Yes. Okay, let's see. Huntsville, Alabama. Huntsville, I think, honestly, places like Nashville, Huntsville, all these areas further to the east, your only shots at seeing any hail is in the off chance that when the squall line really is going later on tonight, storms are still firing ahead of the squall line in places like Huntsville, Chattanooga, Nashville. But I do not think that's really going to be the case. I think once the sun goes down, once we get after about 9 p.m., it's just going to be the squall line, and there's going to be nothing going ahead of it. I could be wrong and again, we'll be here and we'll do live coverage if other storms are ongoing and they're actually severe and dropping large hail. If we get that going, then yes, then we could see storms and we'll adjust accordingly as things continue through the evening. But right now, I think it's going to be west of Nashville and probably in Mississippi, west of just Alabama in general. I think most of Alabama, you're not going to see that much hail today. Okay. One more check here in the Dallas area, and yeah, now it's really starting to look like if there was any chances of getting any big hail, it's got to happen now. It's got to happen in the next 10 minutes or so, because if it's not, then it's not going to be at all. It's just going to be, again, very fast moving event. And there goes my camera. Okay, so my battery is dying. I will answer your questions in just a minute, guys. I'm going to switch back over to just the music for a minute, and then I'm going to I'll be back once I get the new battery in the camera. So 1 second, guys. Okay, all right, we're back, guys. Sorry about that. Fortunately, the way our setup is, I cannot see the battery level on the camera that we use. So it's just kind of the gamble of seeing how long before my battery dies. Battery died, I got brand new battery in there, so I'm here. I should be good for quite a while. Let's see. I can answer any questions that were coming in. Somebody said something in a different language. When will it hit Shreveport? Shreveport's going to be a lot later. And I still think the big thing that's going to really mitigate Shreveport's chances of big hail is all this right here. This is moving right into Shreveport, and that is just rain. Rain that's just going to stabilize the atmosphere and really minimize that hail threat. Okay, what time is supposed to hit Indiana? Probably, Tyler asks, probably, what time is it right now in Indiana? Are you guys in East? Is Indiana in Eastern time? I'm going with the assumption of yes, so it's about almost 3:30. So probably an hour and a half, 2 hours, probably like from 5 to 7 is my guess. 4:30 to 7. How about that? Let's give myself a little half hour here. St. Louis seeing anything? Looks like the cold front is about to move through St. Louis right now. If I zoom in on here, you can see Washington 57, 73, or 72, 73 in the St. Louis area. These showers is the cold front. As that moves through, that's going to that's it. Game over. No more chance for hail. You just have a squall line moving through right now. That's going to really minimize the hail. Wouldn't be surprised if you saw some small hail in there, but in terms of severe hail of significance, not probably going to happen in St. Louis today. Y'all need to hire a dude just to keep the camera battery charged. We have 4 camera batteries. It's just a matter of I only really change them when it dies. So, okay. Let's see, anybody else? North Louisiana. Again, I think northern Louisiana, for the most part, all of this right in here is going to really, unless something at the tail end of this, goes and has any kind of hail development along it, then yes, then they could see some hail. But anything up north in here, I think that's going to be a wall of rain that's going to kind of kill your hail chances. Let's see. Bryan, Texas. I do not know where Bryan, Texas is. But if it's anywhere, I think right now Texas's chances are kind of going downhill a little bit here. We have the squall line going. We have it's going to be a pretty quick moving squall line that seems to not really be having much in the way of, man, I gotta not wear this white shirt anymore. Doesn't have really much in the way of hail with it, and then you have this, which is just mostly rain and minimized hail. That's kind of killing your risks for anywhere from probably about within the severe thunderstorm watch area, honestly, other than the occasional quarter report. Like, you know, we're gonna check right back in with the Dallas area right now, and like none of this is dropping large hail. This is all, you know, there's hail falling. You're gonna get probably people saying, "Hey, it's hailing," but it's gonna be pea, nickel, dime, penny size hail. Nickel's pushing it, you know, so it's gonna be mostly pretty small hail, gust of wind, heavy rain, and then it's over. And this thing's hauling across. It's gonna be hitting downtown Dallas right now with rain, wind, and small hail. All Fort Worth, it's already over. Arlington, it's already over. You can see here, this is where the cold front, you know, will continue to fire things off right all along there as we move further south. I was looking for Little Rock, anywhere in Tennessee, make it happen. Nothing but bad news for Texas snow hail. Dang it. Yeah, sorry, Maria. Pea-sized hail falling in Irving, yes. Yeah, it continues what we were talking about. Probably nothing more than pea to penny size hail with any of this stuff. Nothing no big deal about. I know we want hail, guys. We want hail too. Very wet and not dense. Yes, yeah, it's again. They get roofs full with dime-sized hail all day long. All right. Okay, the questions about anywhere in Tennessee. I think your best bet is probably from just west of Nashville, points west to the Mississippi River. I think you guys have a decent chance. That's any storms that form ahead of the cold front line here. So this is probably going to be minimal hail, but anything that forms ahead of that line could have very large hail. So again, it's a boom or bust type situation, and the window of time for when these storms may form ahead of the line is going to be within that next hour or two. Those storms will form, and then chances are, with the way the atmosphere is, it'll go up real fast, and then they'll be racing to the north and east. So say if a storm forms in Little Rock, it'll be in Kentucky in a few hours. Like, it'll really rocket their way north and east. Tornado risk again, hail upwards of maybe tennis ball size, and that doesn't happen, then we have a squall line that moves through. Small hail, pretty strong gust of wind, and then really brutal temperature change from 80 degrees to 40. So I think that's pretty much what we're looking at. You're the hell, man. Make it happen. Yeah, hopefully. I wish I had the power to control the weather and make the hail happen. We would have had a much busier first half of the season so far, or first section of the season so far. Wouldn't have been waiting too much, but fortunately, I just try to predict it and report as it happens. I can't make it, so what was this storm? This storm might have some quarters on it over by Brookville, Indiana, heading into Ohio. And that's what we were talking about. These storms here are starting to look a little bit better up by north and west of Cincinnati. Anything within here, if it becomes surface-based, which means it gets rooted to the ground, it's not just elevated being pushed by other air masses, it gets some of that nice moist air down here, then we can actually start seeing some bigger hail with stuff like this, like these storms over here and here, but some stuff down this way. But places like, again, along the Dallas area, you're not seeing any big hail out of this. You're seeing some pea-sized hail, as people are reporting in the comment section. It's John's fault. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess you got to blame anybody. You guys can blame me. That's fine. It's that's part of the meteorologist's job, I guess. We got this one storm. So there's one storm that looks okay. This is south of St. Louis. If there's anything, again, if there's anything within the cold front, it's going to be in the squall line. It's going to be a storm that looks like this, where it kind of gets a supercell structure for like 10 minutes and squeezes out some halfway decent sized hail before it falls apart and just continues along with the line. So the timing of that would have to be just perfect for like St. Louis. It'd have to happen like right now, as the cold front's moving through like St. Charles right now, Maryland Heights, over by like, it already moved through like St. Peter's and O'Fallon. And so once you get that big temperature change, it suddenly feels like 30-40 degrees cooler where you're at, and you haven't had any big hail. I'm sorry, you're not going to get any big hail today, because that means the cold front's through and you're done. So I think with that, I think I'm going to wrap things up. Yeah, we're moving through. We got going through downtown Dallas now, and I think as things are progressing, you guys can really see that your best chance was a little bit earlier, and that only produced upwards of probably half inch size hail, and it's now just a squall line. It is racing to the south and east. It'll be probably past Ellis County in an hour, and Dallas will be done. Sun will probably come back out, and it'll be real chilly for the rest of the day. And people in the Metroplex, don't freak out too much. Your next chance is on Friday. And we'll have details about that tomorrow on our daily hail forecast at 12 p.m. Meantime, I'm going to wrap it up. I'll see you guys probably once something, if big storms, obviously, if they form ahead of this cold front, like we're talking about, especially near any sort of population center, like the Little Rock area, Memphis, southern Indiana, Illinois, etc., obviously we will come back on here and do live continuous coverage of any big storms that happen. Do those hail dances. Hopefully we can get a pretty good hailstorm. Just not in the Dallas area today. Pretty good. But if we can get a good hailstorm, that would be awesome. So, wrapping up. I'll see you guys later. Talk to you later.